Welcome everybody, and it is time for recording to low elo. Let me look at my fucking OBS to make sure I'm recording. Neat, I am. Apologies in advance. This is our second go at this because my dumbass didn't hit record, and we didn't realize that until 25 minutes into recording.
Yeah, shit
So
happens. No big deal. We're here now.
yes, so if we're a little unenthusiastic in the beginning, it's because we're talking about the same shit we already did. But
That's okay. We'll
um,
be fine. We'll be all right.
so really quick, this is something new that actually came out today. We're recording this on the 12th. Riot revealed in upcoming patch, I believe it's upcoming patch 21, that they
Yes.
are completely disabling all chat for everybody.
Which is probably a good thing because I think people don't have the wherewithal to turn off themselves.
I
Um,
They say it's to combat toxicity,
yeah.
and I think this is the I don't even call this a band-aid. This is like I got cut and I'm just gonna ignore it, but pretend to take care of it. Cause like for example, I have everything muted. So what's the difference between someone like if someone's being toxic on the enemy team, just mute them. Why do they need to all chat mute?
Because people aren't muting them and they're getting nailed with toxicity. Or I want to say toxicity charges, but they're getting nailed
Yeah, yeah.
with reports. Um,
But I
Probably
mean,
left and right. And I'm sure they're like, dude, we're looking at this and recognizing a trend that it's an all chat. And
well, I mean, yes,
sometimes
but
people can't help themselves, so you got to step in and help them for them.
it actually might prevent people like I'm sure people are not going to pay attention to this, and then they're going to like go to all chat flame, and then it's going to be like, oh, disabled. But from what I've experienced, a lot of the toxicity comes in the post game lobby where
Yeah,
it doesn't matter
people think
if
they're
you
good.
like you don't muting doesn't do anything for that, and I think that's the issue. And I know this is not a hot take. This is a very common opinion I've been seeing is if you mute people in game, just have them muted. Continue that mute into the post game lobby. Like, why?
Oh, that makes sense. That makes sense.
I wish because like that's where I get the people that are saying the most disgusting things to me or teammates or whatever. Um, I'm just curious to how this is gonna go because a lot of the community, which read on Reddit, thinks this is a very stupid, like pointless act.
I disagree. I just think that there comes a time when you give people the opportunity to help themselves, and if they don't want to help themselves, then sometimes you got to step in and do something. I think it's probably a good thing if they just did away with it, honestly, and I think it would help do away with some of the in-game toxicity. I mean, there's really nothing to gain by all chat, right?
Right.
Team chat, there's something to gain. You know, you could maybe let someone know a strategy or whatever, or try to be positive. You know, even though if there's a bad play, try to be positive. Um, in all chat, there's nothing to be gained. It is pretty much purely a flaming device.
I think
Um,
yeah, this is for sure for the. I mean, the more I think about it, it's definitely for the people, and it might be just be obvious, but it's for those people that can't help themselves,
yep.
wanting to, slash ALL, fucking,
I
you
mean, I
know.
like to slash ALL and call everybody pussies, but
Well, there you go. You're part of the problem. You're why this is happening. Uh,
even when they kill me, they're clearly the giant pussy.
so that was
No, I'm just kidding. But I,
uh
I I have fun in that in ARAM. I don't in regular games it's one thing, but in ARAM, I think the trolling is more prevalent, but also more fun because it's a game mode that doesn't matter. Um, that's my thought.
I think they did say they're gonna monitor it and see if less reports come in after doing that. So I guess we'll see. I don't think it'll change much, but maybe
I
hopefully
don't generally report people on the other team unless they're inting. You know what I mean?
I do that. And if they're saying racist,
If they say
homophobic,
something racist or yeah.
or threatening someone's life, so
But
we'll
beyond that, I generally end up reporting my own teammates more than the other team.
so that was the brief thing we want to talk about until we get to the main point of this episode, which is going to be about the preseason video that Riot released. So
Yeah.
we'll start off here. I have on the screen the YouTube video that has just over 1 million views and 32,000 upvotes to 60,000 downvotes.
Oh, it got ratioed 2/3 now. Jeez. The
That's
other day it was only 52,000 or something like that.
it. Yeah, it people, plain and simple, people are not liking a lot of these changes, which,
No.
in
Which is weird because when you look at some of these, like you look at the threads on Reddit when they talk about like the dragons, um, there's some interesting changes there. Like there's, yeah, obviously with the Hextech and the Chemtech Dragon. Um, am I the biggest fan of the effects? No. It does remind me of old Yorick, which I do think is kind of fun. Like, hey, let's bring back an old school idea with Yorick Ultimate. But that was also, I think, available in what game mode was it? Unsealed Spellbook that it was available. That
maybe.
you could have that 10-second resurrection. Yeah, I think it
I
was
think
if you
that
get the
was the
dragon,
dragon.
right?
Yeah, the dragon
Yeah,
in that
yeah.
game mode.
And so they just ripped that out of that game mode and said, here you go. Let's have this. Interesting idea. I don't know that everyone needs to be it's not really a Scion zombie, it's more of a Yorick zombie. I don't know that we need to have a ton of that, like
So,
5 people. Maybe if you gift it to the jungler or something.
so yeah, for those who don't know, the Chemtech, which is one of the 2 new dragons, um, claiming a dragon gets you increased damage based on how much HP you're missing, and then the soul is you get a Scion Yorick, old Yorick alt, where you are revived and you're able to use your abilities with your health bar rapidly decreasing. The one thing I was curious about is if that is on a cooldown. Like, every time you die, are you able to use that soul ability? I feel like you should,
That should be like a Baron or an Elder Dragon
if
buff,
it,
like you get it once.
but it's the soul. It
Yeah,
stays with
that's
you. So I'm curious how they're gonna do that. So I feel like at one hand, it's the soul. It should be very powerful, but on the other hand, that's fucking bullshit.
that is
You're gonna
bullshit.
have to kill someone
That's
twice.
more bullshit than the execution. There's not even execution than the fire dragon or
The,
infernal drake. That's what it's called. God, I couldn't think of the fucking word.
but it's like,
um,
yeah, I
what was I gonna ask you about? Fuck, I was gonna ask you something really good too.
then really quick on the other part, the map has camouflage zones. So basically, if you
Oh
think
yeah.
of how the if you think of how the cloud drake is, where it has those quick wind zones, that's pretty much just gonna be camouflage. That I think is one of the big things that people are talking about. That is so fucking unneeded because
That is
camouflage
unneeded. I hope they get rid of that part.
camouflage is like one of those things that's very hard and it's not very clear because you have camouflage and true invisibility. Like,
Yeah, it's knowing what champion has which is nigh impossible.
so like camouflage can be revealed by pink wards and just being in close proximity to them, whereas like true invisibility, like Kazakhs are. Trying to think of another. I think is Rengar? No, you see Rengar.
I mean,
I
you can
can't
see
think of
Rengar.
what's another true invisible,
Um,
because Twitch, Evelyn, Ukshan, that's all camouflage. You can, if you're in close proximity, you see them. I guess no.
good question.
Timo can't be no
No, Teemo has
Timo.
true
Yeah,
invisibility.
yeah. Timo cannot be revealed by a pink ward. Okay, so that one's.
I'm
But
I'm gonna look it up. I think there's one more. I
but
don't know what I'm thinking of,
camouflage,
but yeah.
it's just so unneeded. I mean, I'm all for adding extra like more shit, but like, what the fuck?
Okay,
And
Kazakhs are LeBlanc's.
clone like the brief.
It says LeBlanc's are, but I think it's the clone.
I think it's when
Obviously, yeah, when her passive pops.
there's like a brief second of invisibility.
Yeah.
Okay.
Akali's W.
Shroud. Okay.
Oh, Talon's ulti.
Okay.
Shaco's Q. Vayne's ulti. The only way. Well, no, that's not true.
What? Final hour?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can see her with the pink ward. I thought maybe not.
Is this saying?
And Wukong you can see under towers. Oh no, that's only under towers. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Under turrets. Turrets grant true sight.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Anyways.
camouflage, invisibility, all of it's bullshit. Um. Then moving on, while we're still talking about dragons, the other new dragon is the Hextech Dragon, where the map will randomly have portals spawning. So you got like mini bard. I'm curious to how far these are gonna teleport you, because
Right?
if like say you're on blue side and you're at Krugs and there's a portal there, what if that fucking takes you to Gromp? Like, there's no way. How fast are rotations going to be, and how insane will support roams be? Think about
I
that.
mean, you just take Bard out of the game at that point. Oh yeah, hey, here's this thing that you do really well. Unless maybe they're planning to rework that part of his kit, which they could totally do too if they're gonna do that. But I feel like it's pretty integral to his identity is being able to like move about the map at will on
Yeah,
his terms.
I'm also curious if like, because again, they haven't released that much information. This was more of a teaser. What if it's like the honey fruit or the what's
Would you
the
call
what
me?
honey fruit? You yeah.
Oh, that's messed up.
What's the true sight flower? What is that fucking called?
Scryer's Orb?
Yeah. So what if it's like that? So what if you go through a portal and that portal closes for a period of time? Because like honey
Oh,
fruit
that'd
will
be good.
it'll spawn
That'd be
back
good.
in.
Like blast cones or something.
Yeah, exactly. I think that would be a little bit more balanced. I'm still curious as how far these portals can take you. Um, so aside from that, taking the dragon will grant you bonus attack speed and ability haste, and the
Wait,
soul.
think about these portals. How broken they'd be with Talon. Hop over wall and hop back.
It's gonna be yeah. It's so weird.
Sorry,
Someone
I just thought about that. Totally interrupted you. My bad.
Riot is just in their basement smoking that good shit, dude, and they're just throwing up on a fucking whiteboard whatever ideas come to mind. Like,
You know what it is? Is they're mad at their wives, so they're basically doing what the quartering did by peeing in the basement,
oh
but
my god.
peeing all over the game with shitty fucking dragons, overpowered dragons.
So okay, taking the dragon, the Hextech Dragon is going to grant you bonus attack speed and ability haste, and then the ult or the soul is going to give you a static shiv like lightning chain that slows enemies, which is cool. Again, it I don't know if it's going to be OP. I guess it will. It'll probably be on like
Probably really low damage too.
yeah. I mean the main point of it is probably just going to be for the slow, and I'm sure it'll probably be how like fleet footwork is. You got to like walk around to build up that.
Energize.
Yeah, the energize. Um, so yeah, those are the new dragons.
Energize.
I'm curious. One thing I always keep seeing when people talk about dragons, especially since there's going to be six,
Yeah.
they should in the pregame lobby in Champ Select either post what the first dragon is going to be or what the soul is going to be.
I like the starting dragon. I don't tell me what the soul is because I think that's fine to be a little more RNG and like not knowing. But what the
I mean,
starting dragon is in game lobby, kind of like in Nexus Splits, where it would tell you what the first power up is. I think that makes sense. I like that idea. I hadn't thought about that, but I like that idea.
I mean, I guess it's like a 50-50 like oh like say it's like Cloud Dragon first and you're like, "Oh, I don't want to go for that." But like I don't know, it's weird. Like teams are going to be like, "All right, we can sack that objective. Don't worry about it. Like fuck it." And then
Yeah.
I guess I could draft around just a
Draft on not having to go for first dragon.
more powerful bot lane just to I don't know. It's yeah, I guess I'd like that idea more than the soul.
I don't want to know what the soul is. We'll wait till the game's going and see what the soul is. Otherwise, you're like literally forcing a objective comp versus a, you know what I mean. I think that's too telegraphed.
I guess we'll see. I hope the
What?
Go ahead.
Good.
No, you go. I was gonna move on. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say what I do like is I was scanning through Reddit and I did find this comment talking about dragons and maybe because these two are regional, like Zon and Piltover for Chemtech and Hextech, respectively. It's saying, I wonder if they were to change the other dragons to a regional style dragon. So something like Infernal being a Noxian dragon, Cloud being an Ionian dragon,
Ocean could be Bilgewater.
yeah, Ocean being Bilgewater, and Earth being like maybe Shurima or something.
That would be cool.
Or,
I mean,
or they call it Mountain. Sorry, it could actually Mountain would be Targon.
yeah.
But aren't Targon and Ionia pretty similar? I feel like Shurima is at least different. But I thought that'd be kind of cool. I like that idea to see like a Piltovian dragon, and you don't have to change the effects of what they do. But I think maybe like a reskin if you're gonna bring in these other two. I think it makes sense and is definitely something that you could put in the game and it would fit.
What's it, dude? What if? Oh, I'm assuming if these two dragons are a success, like people enjoy them. Obviously, with the downvotes, people are not already, but I guess that's the cool thing to
We're
do.
also quick to react
That's
to
what I'm
like what we
saying.
think is gonna happen versus what actually happens. Like how many times we look at a champion like, oh, this champion just got nerfed into the ground and it's still fucking OP. You're like,
No, yeah,
all right, well I guess it didn't get nerfed into the ground.
that's the Reddit hive mind kind of thing where it's like,
Yeah.
oh fuck this, I'm gonna, everyone's already shitting on it, I'm gonna shit on it. But if it is a success, how sick would it be if they had a void dragon?
See, that'd be really cool, I
Turn
think.
the map into the void, like holy fuck. I was just thinking about that like aesthetically that would look sick.
What would it do though? What would it give you?
It would eat your ass. I don't know. I don't know. Just give everybody Cassid and all, like
It'd just give you yeah, I don't know. I think if they were to do like regional dragons too, they'd have to
if there was a
temper the abilities of the dragons, but maybe give you more of them and eliminate the idea of a soul.
dude, if they had a Freljord dragon, the whole map turns to ice, like
Freljord.
would be cool.
You know what else would be cool is and it could be a little chaotic, but it could be something they could test out is every time it's a different dragon, you know how all the souls have like their effect on the environment, but maybe every time it's a different dragon, it re-affects the environment again.
You're putting too much on them. That would break the
But
fucking
I
game.
said that could be like a rotating game mode or featured game mode or whatever,
Every
and
time a
then see how
dragon
that works.
spawns, it would
Yeah,
just
every time different
warp the
dragon, it
map.
changes the map. Yeah.
I feel like that would be too much for them. Like we're already, I mean, that's a sick idea, and that would make you'd have to play on your toes a little bit more. Like you gotta, oh shit, this is coming up. The
Well, I
map's
think
gonna
that
change.
that would provide for different styles. I know they're talking about comebacks in the video, and we'll get there to the comeback mechanic they want to bring out. But that's like a different style of champion, right? Because some champions do better when there is cloud pockets in the
Mhm.
jungle. Some champions do better when they don't have to run around terrain when you have infernal. Um, some champions do better when there is extra terrain when you have mountain. Um, I don't think ocean really does anything to the map other
It
than add
it
rain, right?
it spawns extra honey fruit
Oh yeah,
everywhere,
it spawns extra honey
and the
fruit,
brushes.
but it doesn't change. It doesn't. It's I think the only one that really doesn't have a big effect on the terrain because I know in
It just spawns
Infernal
more
spawn
bushes.
blast cones. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
there's more
So
cover.
that's got the least effect. But I think different kinds of champions like LeBlanc does really good when she can in and out with her distortions. And so when there's extra terrain on the map, she tends to do a little bit better, or it tends to be easier for her and Talon as well, who can jump over. And then reach back to safety. And then you have champions like most marksmen, like Ash, who are like, dude, there's fucking terrain everywhere. Like, I need an infernal. You know what I mean? It would allow you to play differently. It would change up choke points. So when there's a Rumble or a Seraphine, you're not fighting in choke points that are created by extra terrain or it just changes the way that the game kind of plays out. I think that's a very interesting idea, but you might be right. It could be a little too much for
Dude,
Riot.
the game would explode. Like it's a sick idea. Maybe they should put it in. If they put it like on a
It has
Nexus
to be a
Blitz
featured game mode.
style, like
Yeah.
a smaller map, that would be cool. Just bring back
I
fucking
mean,
Dominion, dude.
you could do that in like an Earth style even, or fucking if they ever brought back Hexakill.
That would be cool. A Mist Twisted Tree Line
Yeah.
for real. So
So
Dragon's pretty much one of the biggest things that's changing. Um, from there, we'll move on to they briefly talk about champ balancing, and I think this is the other issue that people took with this video is they are claiming that all the champions, I think it's either a majority or all the champions that were released this year, except okay, yeah, exactly. They say except for Mundo, the rework Mundo, everything was a success. You fucking telling me that Viego was a success? Not only was he insanely broken, but he was disabled in pro play for months with so many bugs.
well, we're looking at the same thing with Ukshin and Vex right now. Vex, understandably, because
Vex
she's
is, yeah,
right
for
before,
sure.
but Ukshin, who's been out for what 2 months,
Yeah.
and you don't even see people playing this champion. Like,
Yeah,
I
so
don't know.
you got one side of the spectrum where Viego was insanely is I don't think he is as broken as he was, and then you have like Ukshin, like kind of underwhelming. Like everyone freaked out about his W passive, but I don't see that champion
Yeah,
in
no one
in
plays him because
in
I think
Summer's
people don't
Eve.
know how to play him. And Ukshin's actually I think pretty balanced because he's insanely squishy.
Right.
like insanely squishy, and he's not as safe as everyone thought he was going to be. To an extent, I do feel like that is a success. Like I feel like he's slightly underpowered. Maybe I was gonna say he's pretty fairly balanced, but slightly underpowered. And I also think people don't quite know how to play him best yet. And in an assassin meta, you don't want to play that champion anyways. He doesn't fit right now when you have your LeBlancs and your Talons and your Zeds running around the map. So when it changes more to like I don't want to say a tank meta, but more like a bruiser or even team fight meta, I think you'll see Ukshin show up. Even in a split push style, I think you'd see Ukshin show up because he can totally 1v1 somebody.
Yeah.
Like that's where he's good at, but he's really good. He kind of plays like an assassin somewhere where he's like a cleanup crew. Um, like, oh hey, my team just engaged and I lost 2 guys, but here comes a cleanup crew to pick up 2 kills and bring my teammates back. And right now, the game does not cater to that style of play. So we may see him more maybe once the meta changes, is my thought.
I saw the next champ is Udyr. They released some images of Udyr's rework. He looks fucking sick. I'm curious as if they're gonna keep his style, like the stance is the same. Um, it's a very interesting champion to rework. I feel like they should have just did a visual, or at least put Spirit Guard as their default. But I guess he's like a season 1 champ, so they need to do something to him. He just runs
Yeah,
around
they do.
and slaps you. So
He does
hopefully,
one thing and then they eliminate the item. They eliminated the item that made him good. It's like, oh, yeah, about that.
oh, I don't know if they announced what is being reworked after that, but I don't think he's coming out until like mid next year. I don't know.
No, really, I didn't even know what they're doing to him in general.
It's a
I don't know
full.
I don't know what you do to him.
That's what I'm saying. It's a full overhaul. So it's a full visual game update. So everything.
Yeah, yeah, it's just it should be interesting. I just his game style, although he just runs at you and slaps you and runs away, it is rather unique. I mean, the only other champion that plays like that is Singe, who runs at you and then flings you and runs away. You know what I mean? But Singe is just a different animal. Udyr's got multiple play styles in his current kit as it is between Tiger Stance and Phoenix Stance, and
Yeah.
it should be interesting to see what they do because it's such a. I feel like the game just doesn't cater to his simplicity anymore,
They're
and
gonna
they're
add
gonna
some
like make it way too fucking complicated,
they're gonna
and
add
I'm gonna
some
want to blow my brains out.
they're gonna add some bullshit to him, dude.
I feel like they're gonna keep the play style where he runs in and does something and runs away. I feel like that's like integral to who he is.
Hmm.
He just runs at you with chem tank. I mean, tank.
Oh.
Yeah,
So moving on from
should be interesting.
champions, we will move to items, and as far as we know, there are 2 new mythics coming out. The first one is a tank item, a support tank item. And when you CC an enemy, all enemies in that vicinity will take increased damage from the team. So in
So
the
that's like a perfect for a Mumu.
yeah, exactly. So if Mumu flies in, he doesn't even have to land alt. If he bandage tosses
For
someone,
one person.
and the one thing I keep thinking of is what's the radius for that? Like, is it 500 units? Is it 1,000? I don't see it being. If it's like a
More than an
thousand,
auto attack, yeah.
if it's 1,000 units, that's fucking broken because you don't
Oh,
be
absolutely. I don't see it being more than just an auto attack,
like
like a ranged auto attack,
five
like
to
450, 500.
yeah, that'd be fair.
It may not even be that much. It may be like 300, which is more than a melee, but less than a regular ranged auto attack, which I think also would be fair because that's like someone who's right next to you. Like that's a bot lane item for sure. Like, oh hey, I just landed a hook on Jin, and Leona's standing right there. Like this is the time to pick off Jin or Leona. You'll be able to do damage to Leona or what you know what I mean. I feel like this is totally geared towards bot lane, but like a Mumu could use it out of the jungle.
That's what I'm saying.
Nunu
Sejuani,
could use it out of the jungle. Sakajuani for sure.
like Volibear.
I'd be curious, depending on what they do with Udyr, if this is even something he could use. Just run at someone, flash, bear slap the shit out of them, reduce their defenses, and allow your team to just go ham. That would be an interesting play style as well. And so I think in junglers and supports, I don't see this being used on a top laner
Yeah, no, for sure.
because you'd rather just go for Sunfire. But someone who's
Unless
looking for a
team fight, like
econ effective team fight item,
yeah, I feel like it's probably gonna be on the cheaper side because
yeah,
Chem Tank is like
29,
2,900. Yeah, so I think
yeah.
maybe it's like that. It also two more things like I need to have my questions answered about, and of course they don't release that much information. We have to wait for PvE to update. Um, what is the cooldown? What is the debuff or the buff cooldown? Debuff? How long do they take that extra damage for?
There's a debuff, yeah.
So like 3 or 4 seconds. And then what are the other stats of this item?
Yeah.
So are we talking 400 HP, 500 HP? I don't see it being that much. If it's gonna be specifically a support item, it's probably gonna be a little bit weaker than like a Sunfire. It doesn't give armor, magic resist. Does give all the goods. Well, I don't. For all I know, it could build out of the Sunfire item.
I do like the fact that this is likely geared more towards support because there's a few support champions out there where there isn't another item that you build besides Locket.
Yeah.
You look at Thresh, he's building Locket. You look at it's really any of the tanks. Braum, he has no reason to build anything else except for Locket. Like it makes no sense to have any other item. It's
If
stupid.
I see my support tank, I know you've done this, support tank building a Sunfire item, I'm gonna
Hold on, time out. I only did it on a Moo to be
I know.
fair, and it's because it works.
It's just
There's a difference, but it can be tilting.
it's just because it's so expensive. It takes you forever to get it, and I mean it's I don't know. It's kind of I don't want to say selfish. I mean it makes you tanky as fuck.
Well, it's
Sure.
definitely a selfish item, but it also makes you tankier than ball sacks.
Yeah. It's Locket. Locket's good, and then like when you go to but you look at enchanters, they have a good range. They
do.
Yeah.
They have a great arrangement
Moonstone,
between Mandate, Moonstone, and Shurelia's.
They're all very good.
They're all very good. They all do very different things, and they all define your play style. And they're rather interchangeable for any one of those champs. I mean, look at Nami; she can use all three of them very well. Especially, and this sounds kind of crazy, but I mean, her with Shurelia's makes your ADC zoom zoom and a boom boom. He starts flying around. He like Sneakers O'Toole Jin. He has paired Jin with Nami and Shurelia's, and Sneakers O'Toole is gonna be zooming around the map.
You ain't fucking catching him.
Or throw that on Rammus. Like she can use all three of them extremely well. Is my point. And your tank supports. There's nothing there. Chem tank, useless. I mean, look at Alistair. What does Alistair use? Locket.
That's it.
That's why no one's playing him because he needs something more than just a shield. You see people play Braum because Braum has that massive unbreakable shield that can stop a lot of projectiles, but it just they need to do something.
So moving on from that, the other mythic is a mage defense item. Kind of has a visual of like a Banshee's Veil, but when you take damage, all damage that is done to you for a few seconds after that is reduced. So you take reduced damage. Mages, it's crazy to think they're gonna have this Zonia's, and they have Banshee's Veil. So my main thing is if this is, and you gotta remember this is a mythic item. So is it gonna have, how much AP is it gonna have? Is it gonna have cooldown reduction? Is it gonna build out of Lost Chapter? Like what's gonna be? Because I think in the video it showed a Xerath using this item. Like, is this item really going to be better than a Luden's? Like, obviously it's going to be safer for you because you're immobile as Xerath and you're squishy as fuck. But sometimes you need to YOLO it and go for Glass Cannon. So, like, why would I want to build a Mythic where I could build Luden's and then Hourglass?
I wonder if they're going to do something to Hourglass, maybe. I think, and this is my own personal belief, that fucking Stopwatch and Hourglass is the stupidest fucking thing.
Get rid of Stopwatch.
Please get rid of Stopwatch. Like, that sounded great. Like, oh, everyone has an opportunity to Hourglass, but it's so fucking cheap, and people buy two of them, and they double Stopwatch, and it makes me want to blast my brains out and shove my fist through the monitor.
Do you remember?
I fucking hate that.
When Runes Reforged came out, Magic Boots and Stopwatch were on different levels.
Yeah.
So everyone in the fucking game, and they were available at 6 minutes.
Yep.
That was
Instead of
an
10.
that was an insane time to be playing this fucking game. That was
Oh god, it was
they're
terrible.
smoking that good shit.
Told you, maybe want to blow my brains.
So yeah, I'm looking at again how much damage reduction are we talking? Are we talking like 10%? Are we taking 20%? How long? 3 or 4 seconds you're taking reduced damage? I'm assuming it's going to be from all sources.
I would think, if I had to guess, I would think it's 5%. It basically acts as penetration.
Astronomical.
Yeah, exactly. And I would think 5% just because I think of like Sunder's passive, right?
Mm-hmm.
It bases at 5% penetration or shred. Is it shred? No, I think it's shred, right? No, it's penetration.
It's armor and magic pen.
Yeah, it's penetration.
Yeah, it's percentage.
This would act as shred. If they're taking increased damage, I would assume that's like shred.
Reduced
But
damage.
I would think it's probably like somewhere between 5 to 10%. I wonder if it'd be 5, and as you complete more
Legendaries.
items, you can get up to 10.
That'd be interesting.
Because considering it's a support item, most supports don't even get
no. This is
5 other items.
This is not a support item.
It's a support tank, but so I'm assuming like.
Wait, are we talking about the mage item?
No, I was talking about the other one, the increased damage.
I was talking.
Oh shit, we're talking about 2 different items. My fault.
Yeah, I was talking about the mage item the whole time.
Okay, well, either way, I wonder if they'd work on the same mechanic.
No, yeah.
That's a thought too.
Yeah, as you buy more legendaries, that's the bonus, the mythic bonus. Yeah, no, I got you.
Either that, or I would assume the mage defense item would work on ability haste.
Yeah, I mean that's a kind of standard thing.
Or, actually, no, I'm stupid. It's probably going to be damage. It's probably adding damage to think about it. You're taking a defensive item, which means the offensive stats are probably booty.
Probably. See, that's the
because if they're
thing.
good, there's no point to take anything else, right?
Yeah, there's no way it's gonna be like as much AP as Luden's Echo or
no.
Even
this item should be like
60 AP.
I was gonna say 50, but the 60.
Because what?
How much Luden give you? 80.
I think it's 80. Luden's and
yeah, I would think 50 would make more sense if it's a defensive style item. Like, hey, I'm going against Zed.
But see, that's the thing. Why would you take up your mythic spot? Just build Hourglass. That's like the question. Like, it's gotta be insanely worth it to make this as your mythic, and that's why.
That's true.
Again, we don't know the numbers. The other thing, so I'm curious if it actually is going to be damage reduction from all sources, because in the video they only show one person attacking the person that I think it's a Xerath again. Like
it looks like so it looks like a Malzahar style, right? Like a spell shield.
Mm-hmm.
I would assume it acts like bone plating, where you just have a certain amount of time. Bone plating obviously is 3 hits.
Yeah.
But you have a certain amount of time that it's not gonna take, or maybe it is a certain amount of hits that you're not gonna take a ton of damage from, or something. You know what I mean? I think that's probably the most fair way. If it was, I think hits makes more sense than time.
I mean,
just think about it. In a team fight, someone hits a mage, and like you should still be able to blow up a mage. Like a mage should not be able to.
Well, yeah, that's what this item is for. Is to try to survive assassin burst. Because imagine, I'm trying to think of the scenario here. So a Xerath, okay, or who's a very maybe like a Victor. What if Victor builds this item, laning against a Xerath? Xerath's abilities are fucking 4 miles long. All you have to do is hit a Q, that passive breaks, and then you can go in. So it's probably specifically gonna go for melee assassins. But at the same time, I could see literally every champion just building this because, I don't take any damage. So
I just see that being like a decent Galio item because that's a champion that doesn't need AP.
Any like AP-ish tanks that can benefit off getting damage reduction and damage at the same time. So
could be an interesting item for like Mordekaiser. Although I know he benefits a little bit more off having more AP. It would be an interesting item. Yeah, it would be an interesting item to compete with Riftmaker. Although I feel like Riftmaker is just I just have a problem with Omnivamp. I think Omnivamp sucks major ass. I feel like it is half as useful as Lifesteal, and I would rather just have lifesteal, like a more comparable lifesteal like Spell Vamp used to be, and I think that they should just get rid of Omnivamp. That's my own personal belief. Is that just bring back Spell Vamp, because Spell Vamp made sense, or at least maybe not Spell Vamp, but because Omnivamp takes from all damage sources: true damage, magic damage, physical damage. Just give me a magic damage style. Spell Vamp was that, but then the name didn't fit because then there was all these on hit magic damage things that you could build, right? And so Omnivamp is supposed to be there, so it's supposed to work. You go to champions like Ezreal because hey, look,
Oh
you get
God.
on hit damage, that counts towards your lifesteal, like Bork used to. But I feel like it falls flat. I just think it's a crap stat. Even when you have 10%, I feel like you're not getting anything out of it. I feel like you get way more out of Vamp Scepter as an AD champion than you do out of 10% Omnivamp as any other champion. It's a bum fucking stat. I wish they would fix that and either get it out or fix it, make it work.
Buff it? You think buffing it? Because this game does not need more healing.
Let's say leave it if you're going to reduce the healing of everything else. It's just not on par with lifesteal.
They just needed something for like AP bruisers.
Yeah, I feel like it just doesn't. You look at Mordekaiser. I don't feel like you see him healing a lot from Omnivamp. He's healing a lot from his it's his W, right? That takes his shield and consumes the shield.
Uh-huh.
He's healing more from that than he is from Omnivamp.
But it's nice, particularly on him, because his passive is just spinning around with the AoE, and that's gonna
for sure.
That heals him pretty good.
For sure.
So by the way, every item we're about to talk about, Ezreal for sure can build it, and it's gonna be broken on Ezreal.
Ezreal can build any item.
even the CC one. Fuck it. Take Glacial Augment.
Yeah, I was about to say get Glacial Augment Ezreal. Fuck it.
So those are the two mythics that they announced. Again, they possibly could be adding more. They could be not even adding these if it underperforms on PvE. I'll probably end up going on to PvE sometime and testing these out just to get a feel for them. But so moving on from mythics, we're moving down to legendary items. And this first one kind of gives me flashbacks of Spear of Sojin, sort of, where it's a new assassin item that's mainly revolves around ability haste, and you get a portion of your ult refunded on takedowns.
Okay, Katarina.
Yeah, it's like Riot and their fucking resets, and they're just refunds. Like, I think it showed like a Zed like ulting and getting
Yeah, because that's what the game needs. That's healthy for the game. Zed ult 3 champions in one team fight.
There's no way it's going to be a lot, because one is a legendary item. Maybe like
it's true. It'd be like
an Ezreal
Horizon Focus or something. Yeah, Ezreal.
Like 1 second. He's gonna love this shit. This shit's gonna be his ult's gonna be up every 4 seconds.
Oh man, he already builds assassin items as it is. It's fucking stupid.
Yeah, this is any AD damage dealer is gonna be able to use this.
Oh, Graves will love this item.
Can't wait to see Katarina build this.
Can't wait to see Lucian build this. It sounds better than Navori Quickblades, which also, speaking of items that Ezreal could use, Navori Quickblades sucks.
It does.
Like, that's all I want to say. That item fucking blows.
30 ability haste looks so good, but that item just the ability refunds. I don't know. I thought it would have been broken on Gangplank.
I would think it would be broken. Like, it seems like it should be broken on a lot of champions. And here we are playing a game where it's like sometimes maybe a situational item.
You're not getting damage
that
from it.
Fucking sucks. It blows.
Because if you're building, like, I'll use Gangplank as a like, say if you're building like Triforce, Sterix Gauge, and then you want to build crit. No, don't do that.
Yeah,
it's not worth it. The stats are not worth it. Well, I guess if you're building Triforce, Sterix Gauge, you're not going to really commit to crit. But like if you went Essence Reaver, Dustblade,
so you get 60 AD, 30 ability haste, and 20% crit. Base attacks on attack that critically strike reduce your basic ability cooldowns by 20% of the remaining cooldowns. Like, the only person I could see that really being good for is Lucian.
Yeah.
And there's just other items that are more important for him at the moment.
Yeah, if you're building crit and you're at your third item, I would rather build Infinity Edge and get, even though Infinity Edge kind of sucks, I'd rather get that just to get more damage. 60 AD is nice.
Well, here's the other crazy thing is what it doesn't take into account: mana. And a lot of the champions that want to use it
Mana.
need that mana. I mean, this is a really good item for like a Yasuo, Yoni, who don't use mana. Yoni doesn't use mana, right?
I don't think you want this item on either of them because their cooldowns are so low anyways.
They are super low. It
Aside for
just
the
would give you
windmill.
extra to just, I mean, yeah. That and then, yeah, I don't even know who else you would.
The only
Yeah,
marksman I can think of is Lucian.
I can see you trying to maybe put it on
Don't say Ezreal.
Kindred. No, that's wrong. I was like Kindred, so you can hop around more and keep your attack speed up. But it's just it lacks something. It would be interesting if they were able to make it effective on your ultimate, but just a little bit. Like
Oh,
not
God.
obviously I don't want 20% on ultimate cooldown, but like
Dude.
2% cooldown. You know what I mean? Like just refund a little bit, and that might make the item worth buying. But in its current state,
How much gold is it? Does it say?
it is
Like 2,900?
3,400, so it's already expensive.
It's 34? That's not
Yeah,
fucking worth it. That's so
it's
fucking
already expensive.
That's almost a mythic. Like, nah, don't do it. Don't build that item.
It's not even good for Jin.
No, you don't. See, you don't even need cooldown reduction. Like,
And Jin would be a champion that could use, extra W's. You know what I mean? Blasting people and then get an extra W while he's reloading or something. It's not even good on that champion. So I don't know. It needs some help. When it's crazy, you look at it, it looks like a stat stick too.
yeah,
I mean, 60 AD is nothing to scoff at. 30 ability haste and 20 crit strikes, nothing to scoff at. But the problem is you're looking at champions that want to use it, don't really care about crit strike, and so it's like, well, you've targeted the wrong group of characters, wrong group of champions to use this item.
So, moving on for the assassin item. The next one, which I'm stoked at, is a new tank item, legendary item, that is, I believe it is going to get grant mana, and you're going to get bonus health based on your total mana. This is kind of low-key scaring me about, again, Ezreal can use this item because of mana. Rise is kind of scary.
This reminds me of the old Seraph's passive, or not passive, the old Seraph's active.
The shield.
Consume 40% of your mana to take a shield worth that amount.
So aside from that, yeah, getting bonus health based on your total mana, you are gonna get a shield when you immobilize someone. So I think in the video clip they show Singe flipping and you get a shield. That's
another
pretty cool.
Galio item.
It's cool. I mean, it's gonna give tanks a little bit more like being able to trade a little bit more.
Literally, I feel like you have to build this item in Frozen Heart.
Well, yeah, because there's no other fucking like.
Or hear me out. I just thought about this one right now. Thresh, who's got Zeeks. You have to have Zeeks because you need the extra mana. With this item, actually, it wouldn't be bad for Thresh because then he gets a free shield for going in on his Q.
Mm-hmm.
And then you also get the Zeke's pop because you're immobilizing somebody. So I can see Thresh being good use, or Leona as well. Someone who's going to build Zeke's as a support. This would actually not be a bad tank support item. Even Alistair would really enjoy it.
But again, it's gonna come down to how expensive is it? Is it gonna be better than utility for your team? And then I see this as a fucking top-notch Maokai item.
You gotta build Frozen Heart with it. Yeah. I mean, it sounds like you gotta build mana with it. Whatever you're doing, you gotta build mana with it.
Remember, it's total mana, it's not bonus, so whatever.
Yeah.
And hopefully the percentage for the shield is good. Like, if it's like, 40% of your total mana or whatever. Oh.
I also would argue against you using this on Ezreal because you don't get the shield because he can't immobilize. But hey.
Build it anyways, I don't know.
Fuck it.
Alright, so moving down. This was the last legendary item that they spoke about. Is a new mage item that grants, I believe it's a bonus magic pen against shielded enemies. So kind of like a Grievous Wounds, kind of like a Serpent's Fang looking thing. So obviously, if you have enough pen, you're going to get to the point where it's basically true damage, and you're just, especially on squishy champions, you're going to be able to shred through that.
Does this just combat all the Galio buffs that they just gave in items? Here's a champion who's got a shield. Guess what? Actually, no, that would be like really an anti-Galio item though, because Galio's already anti-mage as it is. I'm assuming because it is a magic shield, it is still a
It's still a
shield.
shield, yeah.
The question is, how does that interact with like Malzahar?
Or Morgana Black Shield.
Or well, no, that's a shield. Black shield.
Yeah,
Malzahar isn't technically a shield.
I think it's a spell shield. I don't know what's it called. I think it's still technically a shield.
Let's take a look.
I know it grants them damage reduction and a spell shield, but
Malzahar.
they're trying to throw a bunch of stuff in mid lane.
They are. Well, it's because mid lane, remember, used to be the important lane that carried, and now it's not as important as it used to be.
Mage items suck.
Show me Malzahar's skills, please. Pa da. I'll find it. Keep talking.
I'm curious. Again, I'll keep saying this every fucking time we go to a new section. Are there going to be more items? Like we always talk about that. There's a pretty good variety of marksman items. When you have shield bow, you have gale force, you have Kraken Slayer. Like that's pretty good, and any marksman can pretty much take those and be interchangeable, whatever you need. I wouldn't mind another one, some other attack speed. I don't know. Excuse me. What else they could do? What else they can introduce?
Okay. So it is not a shield. It's called Void Shift. And Malzahar gains immunity to crowd control, 90% damage reduction, lingering for a quarter second after taking non-minion damage or negating a crowd control effect.
Okay, that's fair.
So I don't think it's considered a shield. I do think Sivir's spell shield could be considered a shield, though. I definitely think Black Shield is considered a shield because it actually affects your health bar with an actual shield.
Yeah, I think. I think it's that if it's a shield that actually
does it affect your health bar?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, that makes more sense.
And so like people like Camille would get fucked by that too.
Ooh, that'd be a good idea.
So you can actually play Mordekaiser into Camille and not feel too bad about it because at least you get some penetration or something like that. You probably wouldn't play Mordekaiser into Camille anyways, but like because I don't think I've ever seen that matchup. But
she can fucking negate the Death Realm by jumping and ulting. Like it cancels it.
Yeah. Cho'Gath could use an item like that if he went AP Cho'Gath, or if you wanted just a dip in AP as a full tank. You can take a dip in AP just to get some penetration. Could be like a Cho'Gath item too. Any AP. I feel like it says mage, but I feel like you're gonna see it on AP bruisers.
I mean, it's kind of like if it's OP enough. It's kind of you remember when Dark Harvest first came out? Every fucking champion took Dark Harvest when it was the older one. So I'm assuming.
Yep.
A lot of magic dealers, even Ezreal can use this because Ezreal does magic damage. Woo!
That I feel like that just like eliminates barrier.
Yeah, I don't see a lot of mid laners going barrier. I usually either see ignite, teleport, or exhaust. Barrier I feel like is just not good as it is.
Sometimes I would say you probably see more marksman with barrier than anything because you could go marksman barrier support with heal if you're worried about getting blown up.
We've been seeing marksman run exhaust.
That's the new thing, and I think it has to do with cooldown because exhaust cooldown's pretty short. And it also gives you don't have to gap close because you're just slowing them. You're closing the gap by simply running.
I can see it on the opposite end too. Is this meta is a lot of roaming for supports.
So
if you're left in the bot lane by yourself, you have your own self peel with a little extra from the summoner. So
they brought back the damage reduction on exhaust, right?
I believe it has that because before it used to
shred armor and MR too.
I think it did that and it lowered damage. Now it's just it was weird. It was very 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 OP.
There was like no point to not run that item.
Oh yeah,
or run that.
So it for sure grants it grants like damage reduction, or it lowers the damage of the target, and of course it slows them.
Yeah. Okay. So weakens the target enemy champion slowing them by 30%, reducing their damage dealt by 40% for 3 seconds.
There you go.
Exhaust will not reduce true damage. Cleanse will remove exhaust effects. Using exhaust on a champion when the target's already affected by that spell will reapply the effect. Resetting its duration, it will not increase the effect, and the cooldown can be reduced by summoner spell CDR.
So that's why even if the enemy has a Master Yi, you can still slap that fucking exhaust
You're
on
not going
him.
to slow him from running, but
but
you're going to
it-
reduce
his
40% damage. But he does do a lot of true damage, so it still
True.
probably may not be worth it.
Maybe.
But that's a thought. Or you can get him after he's used Highlander to try to close the gap.
Mm-hmm. So, I don't know how we went into Summoner Spell talking from an item, but those were the 3 legendary items. Again, maybe they'll introduce more. Maybe they won't even introduce any of this. So from that, we'll move down into Ruins, which they didn't talk that much about. The main point was they want to rework Inspiration, and in particular Glacial Augment, because it's kind of a one-dimensional kind of thing.
Extremely one-dimensional.
Because before you had Spooky Ghosts, you had the GLP Hex
Yep.
Belt, like then
that they changed to Everfrost.
Yeah, so and I feel like if you're a champion building Everfrost, you're not gonna have Glacial. There's no point. Oh, what are you gonna double dip? Like,
no, you're not. And the only champion that uses it right now is Senna. I haven't seen any other champion not named Senna use Glacial Augment as of late. Even though I think it has some really good properties for a lot of champions, but I really have only seen Senna using that.
yeah,
I don't know. I mean, there's a world where it works with other champions too. I mean,
but there's
think like Bard, because Bard has a slow on his auto attacks every once in a while. So I could see a world where it works, but there's other runes that are possibly better. But also, Bard is one of those champions that could legitimately use Omni Stone, because he can legitimately use. And don't get me wrong, that rune sucks, but Bard, the champion, is one of the only few that can legitimately use, I think, every single
Keystone.
Keystone, and use it well. Not just like, oh, well, you can use it. It's like, oh yeah, guess what? I've got lethal tempo. I'm gonna slap you, and I'm gonna keep slapping the shit out of you for a few seconds. Or Hail of Blades, I'm gonna slap you, I'm gonna hit you 4 times, and run the hell out of here. Or, I mean, Predator, because he's already a fast-moving champion.
I'm curious. They didn't
and
mention.
I know they didn't mention an Omnistone rework, but
get it out.
I think we all know it's coming.
Just go bye.
Yeah, I think we all know it's coming.
Or you know what? Actually, hold that thought. I think in the video, I closed the video, but they have there's a screenshot that someone took, and it showed someone with Omnistone. But do you remember how do you know how Unsealed Spellbook works, where it has like you use 6?
Yeah.
If you use 6 of them, it has it like 0 out of 6. When you use one, it says 1 out of 6. It had a screenshot where it said 0 out of 20. I don't know if is there 20 keystones. I don't know, but it looked like something like that if it cycles through them. Like if you I think someone had a theory, like if you use all of them, like cycle through them, maybe you get a buff on it or something.
Are there 4 keystone trees?
Yes. I don't think so. It wouldn't make sense because
so
it's definitely
12.
Yeah, I don't know. That it was a screenshot, so it could have been something like this is all a work in progress. It's not even on PBE yet.
Yeah, even on that Reddit post, it says someone said, so are they not removing Omnistone? And someone said they're reworking the inspiration tree. They probably just talked about Glacial because they want to drip information out between now and preseason. I'd expect a rework of it at the very least. So I think that makes sense. But it's true, that whole tree does need a rework, and part of it is it's really just the keystones that need it, because the rest of the stuff's pretty good. I mean, Futures Market is a great idea. I do like Futures Market. I do use it from time to time. Champions that I notice it works really well on like damage dealing champions, because you may not be able to base and have enough gold for a big damage item, but maybe you need that extra, was it 300 or whatever, and you can have, like a not hunting guys. I always call
Landers?
it Landry's. I always call it Haunting Guys, and part of it's because of the fucking song. And Haunting Guys sounds like a better. Landry's Torment's kind of a duty name. Haunting Guys is way better. um, but yeah, all the sub runes in that tree are pretty solid. I mean, Time Warp Tonic's pretty good. Um,
I
the
think
biscuits are pretty good.
I think
No one uses DMAT really anymore.
there's
Minion Dematerializers kind of.
I do use it if I play Twisted Fate. I use it Twisted Fate, or like Rise is probably really good at because you can
Rise is
clear
good too.
minion
You get
waves.
yeah,
I
yeah.
feel like we just went over this. Like Senna is probably the only champion that can use. I guess so. There's other champions that obviously use Unsealed Spellbook. You see that on Twisted Fate. You see that on I think Ornn can still use it on Rise. But if you're not like, I feel like Inspiration is a better secondary tree than it is a first. If that
No, that's
makes
exactly
like,
it. Is the keystones suck.
yeah.
Everything else in the tree is really good. I don't think there's a bad choice. I mean, even Transcendence, 5 Summoner Haste.
That's on blue.
Is that on or
Cosmic
what?
Insight.
No,
You talking about
Cosmic Insight. That's what I'm thinking of. Cosmic Insight. Sorry, not Transcendence.
Yeah.
I'm like, there's the Summoner Spell one. Yeah, Cosmic Insight solid. Biscuit Delivery solid. Time Warp Tonic solid.
Hex Flash.
Hex Flash. That one. I have not mastered the best way to use it. It depends on the champion that you're using too. Um, Boots. I wish they'd get rid of Stopwatch. We talked about that. Or maybe they just need to take it out of that tree because I think that's too broken to have that, even if it is 10 minutes. What else is in there? Futures Market.
I'm trying to think.
I think I hit them all.
Yeah, I think that's about it.
They're all solid. They're all solid, but Omnistone blows chunks. Unsealed Spellbook and Glacial Augment are way too niche. Bring me something that's more usable. I mean, look at like Halo Blades. There's so many champions that use Halo Blades, which means that Lethal Tempo needs help, which is next on our list here. They
Yeah,
talk about
yeah.
Lethal Tempo, and I think they need to further diversify it from Halo Blades. Halo Blades right now, and I have always liked Lethal Tempo. I think Lethal Tempo is a fun one to use. But like right now, a lot of these champions that want to use it is because they want to use some sort of spell. And so like Zaya's like, oh, I hate you. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I pull back because I'm able to get them out so fast and I can get the stun.
Or like Tristana,
Yeah,
throw the bomb on
Tristana.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Bomb 1, 2, 3, 4. Bye. You know what I mean? Where those are champions that should be using Lethal Tempo. They shouldn't be using an Assassin Tree, a rune.
Yeah.
These are marksmen. Like the whole Yellow Tree, although you can use it on multiple different kinds of champions, the Yellow Tree is almost, I wouldn't say it's exclusive to marksmen, but like it's a pretty solid marksman tree. That's kind of where it's geared towards. Then there's other champions that aren't marksmen, like fighters that can use it. PTA. Lethal doesn't really do enough for Yasuo. I mean, obviously he's better with Conqueror, but Conqueror is your bruiser exception, right? Or your other fighter exception. So that it's got a lot of versatility, and I feel like it's the least versatile for the champions it was built for.
I think I'm curious what they're gonna do because they said it's more like because like champions I instantly, like you said, I think about especially like Kog'Maw. Kog'Maw is just the attack speed steroid king.
Yep.
So I'm curious if, because I think one of the things that holds it back and it makes it a worse version of Lethal, obviously, or excuse me, a worse version of Halo Blades. Like obviously, Lethal is extended because Halo Blades is a quick 1, 2, 3. It has that like half a second or 1 second like buffer before Lethal Tempo kicks in.
The Halo Blades is instantaneous.
Yeah, so that's why it's a little bit better, and you could just take quick trades like that.
I will say Lethal Tempo is really good on Jinx.
Yeah.
But so is Press the Attack, and I feel like Press the Attack right now is just the better rune for a 4-hit passive, or 3-hit passive, better rune. Like, oh yeah, it basically gives Jinx a Vayne passive, and I think that's dumbass broken. But she's good with both of them. She's even good with Conqueror, but I would rather, if it was me, I want to get something that's got attack speed or extra damage as opposed to Conqueror, where you have to take forever to stack it up.
Do you think they'll
Okay.
increase the Lethal Tempo speed cap, like attack speed? 'Cause I think right now it's
Oh, like how much
100.
it gives you?
I think it's 110% attack speed. I think it's obviously it probably scales.
I don't know what lethal tempo. I know 110% is definitely what Hail
Yep.
Blades gives you. Yeah, you gain 40 to 110%
There you go.
based
And
on level.
and of course it can break the
And your
attack
attack
speed.
speed cap, yeah, increased. Attacking a champion while the effect is active extends the duration to 6 seconds. So normally it'd be 3 seconds. But it also takes a second and a half to kick in, which is dumb.
Second, yeah. See, I don't like that. That's a long time. Second and a half is a long time.
Oh, Fleet Footwork's in here too. They
Fleet's
still
good.
need it.
I
They
think
did something, but it. I mean, who's using that rune right now?
I think like Jin. If Jin's gonna go into Yellow Tree, Jin. I'd see Caitlyn using it. Just these
I've been
weak.
seeing Caitlyn using PTA.
I'd say I think it's like champions that are gonna be hyper carries need a little extra sustain in the beginning. You know,
Yeah, but Tristana's not using it. She's a hyper carry. Twitch definitely ain't using it.
that's just because they
Twitch is
get.
better with PTA or lethal tempo.
I've seen hit Twitch with Halo Blades too, just to
Or
get
that too. Yeah.
stack the poison really quick with the autos.
Yeah, I feel like that's a champion that's better with lethal just because
Mm-hmm.
you pop up in a fight and he starts laughing
But
and
it's
spraying and praying and it's like
but it's that 1.5 second thing that is holding
I
it back.
know.
So like you hit R, you get that one shot, and then it's a second and a half, and you're losing out. How long? How long does Twitch's ult last? Like 5-6
You just
seconds.
have to hit the ulti after the first auto attack when you pop out of invisibility or whatever.
It's tough.
But yeah, it's rough. They need to drop that to like maybe 0.75 as opposed to 1.5.
So,
But we'll see what's happening because they're doing something to it.
and we'll move on to the last part they talk about, which is the bounty system, and they're changing it up, and they are introducing like mechanics where if the enemy team, if you're playing and the enemy team, if you're behind them, they're gonna put bounties on objectives, whether it is towers or epic monsters, so dragon and baron. I don't know how I feel about this yet because
Could they put a bounty on Rift Herald?
yeah, that's an epic monster.
It's epic monster. I feel like it's hella early in the game. That's kind of
What's gonna tilt me though is if I see a bounty, that means I'm behind, like I'm losing. I'll like
yes.
unless I don't. I don't know. If
The other thing that I don't like about it is it basically eliminates the forfeit, right?
Oh god.
Because now there's so many ways, especially in low elo. In high elo, I don't think it'll eliminate the forfeit in anything above, diamond and above. Because I know in those high elo games, a lot of times when people make a mistake, everyone else just starts inting and trolling for whatever reason. Instead of playing the game out to possibly win, they go doom and gloom with that. It's over, and I'm gonna start inting. I've heard stories of players like Blabber doing that kind of shit. Like, oh, you fucked me up. Now I'm gonna int forever. It's like, dude. And so I think they're trying to maybe fix that by giving them something to play with, but I don't think it matters. It's definitely not geared towards low elo because low elo people just mentally tilt, mental boom all the time that it doesn't matter.
But they also don't forfeit.
They don't. It doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
I'm
It's so sad. It's so fucking sad that they don't like, dude. This game's over. I'm not interested in playing. You're playing like you're not interested in playing. Can we all just go home and start over again? Like, do we have to sit here and do this shit, or can we? I don't know. It just drives me bonkers.
So like, I don't know how I feel about this. I mean, I don't know if I'm that big of a fan of like comeback mechanics. I guess if you play properly and you capitalize on the winning team's mistakes, you can crawl yourself back. That's good. But like, how much gold is this bounty's gonna give? Like, is it gonna be based on, say, if my team is down 5,000 gold? Is that maybe what if it does a percentage? Like, taking the Baron's 500 gold to everybody. Is it gonna be? Again, this is the theme of this is we don't have the numbers yet. And then on the flip side, if I'm on a winning team, why there's gonna be more ways for the enemy team to get back into the game. But I guess the only argument with that is if you're winning, you should be able to control them from not taking objectives and getting those bonuses. I feel like it's going to be a balanced nightmare.
I feel like it's definitely gonna be a balanced nightmare, and I think that's why I think this is one of the big reasons people are downvoting. I think they're not downvoting so much because of the dragons, and it's more of like this system here because I don't even know what you.
There's gonna be
I can't even fathom a world where it makes sense for both sides, where it's fair.
there's gonna be such like an influx of just gold into games. Like it's gonna, I'm assuming it probably speed up games. More champs getting more items quicker. Um, it'll come down to because like when they first when they updated the bounty system, do you remember people would be getting a bounty on their head for like farming for the first 10 minutes? Do you remember that? Like, why the fuck
Yeah.
do
Oh
I have
yeah.
a bounty? Like, I haven't done anything. I've died
Like all
like,
I've done is out farm this guy.
or yeah, like maybe you're up 50 CS, but you're 0-3 and you have like a 300 gold bounty. Why? What the fuck? Like,
Yeah.
no, they leave me alone. Like, why am I worth gold?
No,
And
for sure. It'll be interesting. I'm sure they have an idea. Obviously, like you said, we don't have the numbers, and it's very easy to judge when you don't have the numbers, right?
yeah, fuck
But
them.
when you have a better idea of how things are working, it likely will make more sense. So I'm gonna err on the side of Riot just because they have been able to in the past make things make more sense than what they seem to be. They don't always nail the mark the first time. It may take them 20 patches, but they'll figure it out
Oh
eventually.
god.
Um, beginning of every season is also always whack because we always think everything's going to be broken, and sometimes you're like, well, this isn't broken at all. This fucking sucks. So I would say honestly, trust in them because they definitely don't have a motive to fuck their game up. They're at this interesting point in the game where there's so much fucking power creep um, that they have to do something to mitigate the power creep. So I think this is one of those things, and it could end up slowing games down, maybe.
I'm just I guess yeah, we'll wait to see the numbers and then we can
Yeah,
judge it. Maybe when those start rolling around, we'll be looking at PBE changes just because as it gets closer to preseason, there's gonna be probably really big patches. So well, that's the idea for coming up, but I think that's about it. Um,
I think we've taken enough of everybody's time.
yeah. Thanks for sticking around. If you're here, um, if you're
If
still
yeah, if you got
here,
this far, appreciate it. I
Um,
do.
as always, hit the follow button if you're listening on Spotify, on YouTube. Search according to Low Elo. Hit that subscribe button and the little notification bell. And
Are we able to ask questions in Spotify yet or no?
yeah, did you have a question?
I do.
Okay, what do you got?
I want to know what you're most looking forward to and what you're least looking forward to.
All right, so yeah,
Because the downvotes and the comments on Reddit is all Reddit Hivemind. The comments on YouTube is all YouTube Hivemind. I want to know in an area where not everybody can see your responses, your actual thoughts. Like what do you actually think? It's very easy to look at someone's argument on Reddit or on YouTube and say, yeah, this guy's right. But I want to know what your actual the actual thoughts are.
so yeah. Again, if you're on Spotify, that question's gonna be right below this. So go ahead and
Yeah.
hit expand, and you'll be able to put
Yeah,
your answer in there.
click on the episode. Make sure you actually click on the episode because you can hit play and not actually ever see the question. But if you click on it and open up the separate page on Spotify, you'll be able to see the question and be able to respond there.
Speaking of really quick before we do end, we did have someone that did respond to last week's question, which was I posted, "Who do you think is going to win Worlds?" And I'm trying to look for his name really quick. 1 second.
I think it was JD Core.
No, someone else did.
What did I say? Did I say I hope I said TSM because that would have been funny, but I think I
No,
said C9.
yeah,
That was also a meme.
which we didn't even get into talking about Worlds at all. But NA is
I
taking
don't want to talk about that.
Tank. Yeah,
They're getting annihilated. Kobe's getting annihilated. He lost his luggage and he didn't get any sleep.
he got his luggage back.
Oh, he got his legs back.
Yeah.
Okay. Poor guy. He was wearing DeFicio's suit. Or not DeFicio, he was wearing Quickshot's suit.
That's fucking good. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna butcher this man's name, but Joao Costa thinks Fnatic is gonna win. I don't think they're gonna win with
Fnatic's getting well.
upsets
In
gone.
fairness, he commented on this before upset.
I know. I know.
Wasn't there, and now they're just getting shellacked. But it is only week 1. The meta does change between week 1 and week 2. That is a very common thing. You just gotta hope that the teams can adapt better than the LCK and the LPL teams that are just pounding everyone's soul in. If teams can take at least 1 win this week and then sweep next week, they'll be fine. If they get 2 wins this week and get 2 wins next week, they'll be fine. I think 4-2 is enough to move on. And inevitably, there's going to be 5-1s for sure. I mean, Gen G looked insane. RNG looks great. T1's looking pretty strong. Damwon's looking pretty strong. FPX is even looking strong. And I don't think they. I guess 2 teams could go 5-1 if the other teams go 1-5. But yeah, it should be interesting. Week 2 meta, when that rolls around, is always more fun, and I hope to God people stop playing Ezreal. That is the most boring professional champ to watch. I'm so tired of watching Sven play Ezreal.
But he's
play
good
something,
on it.
play something explosive. Ezreal's good in like a 1v1 where he can kind of kite you out, you know what I mean? Or like when he's being chased, and he does really well there. But like Ezreal in a team fight is. I like playing Ezreal too. Don't get me wrong. I like playing Ezreal, but when professionals play Ezreal, I'm like, this is so boring to watch. So please, for love of God, Sven, pick a different fucking champion. Play Aphelios or something. I don't know.
Yeah, on that, again, comment down below what you're most excited for preseason and you're least excited for, and we'll shout you out next week on the patch rundown. Next week should be the patch rundown. So yeah, that'll do it for us.
Like, subscribe, ring the bell, say what's up, pop in to Twitter, Instagram, YouTube,
anywhere.
We like talking to you guys.
Yeah. So enjoy your Thursday afternoon and the rest of your week.
Bye, guys.